Hey everyone, I hope that you are doing well. But if for some reason you are not in a good place right now, I'm glad that you clicked on this video because I would love to share some tips with you on how you can move out of a negative headspace into one that feels better, that's more positive, and that is really going to overall make you feel better. My name is Shayla and I'm a spiritual girly. My channel is all about spirituality, my locks, and what's going on in my world, all the things basically. So I would love to give you some tips on how I have been able to have a better start to my day. And it really doesn't take a lot. It just takes a change of habits. So I would love to give you a little backstory real quick. November 1st, 2018, I decided to start a 30-day challenge so that I could be a more positive person. I was in a really funky place. I was super pessimistic and had been for literally years, off and on for sure. And someone had called me out, I'm sure, on my attitude or my behavior. And I decided, you know what? I don't like the way that that feels. I don't like being looked at as Debbie Downer or negative Nancy. So something has to change. And the only person that's going to make that change is me. So on this 30-day challenge, I wrote out a few things. One was that I was going to listen to motivational speakers as soon as I got up every morning. I decided to start with Les Brown. If you don't know who that is, he is amazing. Les Brown will make you feel like you are the bee's knees, like the top dog. He is so motivational. He's an amazing teacher. There are so many things that I could say about Les Brown, but this video would be way too long. If you don't know about him, please look up Les Brown motivation. There's a ton of videos on YouTube and he will make you feel so much better about your life. Doesn't matter what you've done and where your life is at the moment. Another thing that I added on my list was that I was going to be more active. So I think it was 30 minutes a day, like exercise of any kind, because I knew at that point that I needed to get moving around and that would make me feel better. The other thing was that I was going to change up my music and start listening to music that felt better, that was more positive. So no rap, no sad R&B, no blues, like nothing that was going to make me feel worse about my life or about the way that I looked at life in general. In addition to that, I told myself that I was just going to change up my routine and actually really helped. Matter of fact, it became a lifestyle for me. So here we are in 2015, and this is what my routine looks like when I wake up. And when I don't do this routine, I am destined to have a not so great day, or I'll just be feeling like by noon. You can try it out and see if it works for you. When you first wake up, it is important that you are absorbing positive information and that you are quiet and you are just really like sitting with yourself. If you are someone who prays, praying, meditating, just being inward and checking in with your higher power, and yourself, because that is going to set the stage for the rest of your day, really the rest of your week if you're consistent with this. So that is what I do. As soon as I wake up, I put a smile on my face because I am grateful that I get to do life one more day, that I get to be around the people that I love for one more day. And I will say to myself out loud, like, oh, it's a new day. I'm so happy. I feel so good. Today's going to be a really good day. And sometimes I'll laugh at myself out loud because I might think it's silly in the moment, but I have noticed that when I start my day like that, I actually do feel better. When you first wake up, your brain is in a theta wave place, and in that theta wave, you are in between sleep and being awake. Your mind is very relaxed in a like meditative kind of space, but it's also a place where it's also a mind wave, a brain wave place where you are most creative. You're absorbing information at a greater capacity than you would throughout the rest of the day. And so again, that's why it's important that you set a positive environment when you first wake up. Another thing that you can do outside of praying, meditating, outward gratitude is affirmations. You could write on some cards, and this is what I find to be easier. Writing some affirmations on cards, because sometimes you wake up, you're just kind of like, I don't know what I want to say. But if you have your cards by your nightstand, you can just read them off. I would also suggest doing some journaling. Even if you're just writing down like 5 things that you're grateful for, that is going to put your mind in a positive headspace. This is going to help your vibration rise higher. And that leads me to my other tip. I had to set up some boundaries in my life, and it did not come easy. It's still a struggle sometimes, but whenever I know that I'm kind of getting on that verge of like being overwhelmed, I have to remember that I have this boundary in place for a reason. And that is that I do not touch my phone. I'm not having phone conversations. I'm not getting into long texting conversations until I have had like 2 hours, preferably 3 hours to myself to pour into me, because who else is going to pour into me? If someone has permission to call you or overload you with text messages, and social media has permission to overload you with negativity, and you're scrolling as soon as you wake up, you are absorbing that. But if you take the time to first pour into yourself instead of relying on someone else to do it for you, because you don't know what they're going to have to give you, you know what I'm saying? So wait 2 hours, then get on your phone. But if you feel like you really just, need to be on your phone when you first wake up, my suggestion is YouTube and searching for some affirmations or some meditation, and do that. I bet that you will feel much better. So like I said, me making those changes, it really did help me to change the way that my mind was working. At that time, I was learning about rewiring the brain, and honestly, being consistent with that has really shifted me into a more positive headspace. Now, that doesn't take away from the fact that I do have seasonal depression, unfortunately, and that is something that I am actively working on all the time. But I do tend to, be anxious, and so whenever I am putting these things into practice at the beginning of my day, it definitely eases things down. I hope that these tips are helpful, and I will definitely be sharing more in upcoming videos. But until then, have a great day.